Here we are with my old friend, colleague, and Hall of Famer, Steve Flink, talking about the second day at the US Open, and there was a Canadian derby that you followed very closely.
I did.
Shapovalov and Roger Aliasim. Roger? No. What's his name?
Felix. Felix, not Roger. You're thinking of Roger Federer. No, but it was amazing that Shapovalov, the first two sets 1-1, and then he finished him off 6-4 in the third. That was an impressive performance, Ubaldo, to beat him that decisively.
Yeah, especially if you think that he had lost his last match versus him. True that he had won
and
it last
Felix
year.
had a much better year than Dennis overall.
Yeah, well, that's why he seeded.
Right. So I think he needed that victory more than Felix in a lot of ways. It was, for him, it had even greater value, and so for that reason, I'm happy for him that he got it, because he's got a lot of exuberance. He's a talented player, left-handed, good shot maker, nice win.
Yes, and then true that when they're both young, of course, but for someone who is young to lose to someone who is younger than him,
That's right.
It's a problem. I mean, it's not something that you like.
No, not at all. So he moves on. I hope he makes something of it. I'd like to see him go deep into the draw this year.
Listen, Steve, and today in the second day there were a lot of seeds who lost, not only the one we're just talking about, but also TM, number 4, who lost to an Italian Fabiano.
And you were the one that informed me, please tell the viewers too, that Team was not well with his health.
Yes, he had a virus, and he said, I'll try to play, but I'm not 100%. And then tonight he said, I was far from my 100%. And he said, it wasn't me the one who lost. So
yeah, too bad, because he had that great match here with Nadal a year ago, losing in the 5th set tiebreak, and he's been in the finals of the French a couple times now, and he was expected to get to the semifinals here this year. So tough break for Dominic Thiem.
Yes, and then apart from number 4 in the seedings, they lost number 8, 9 and 10. 8 is Tsitsipas, who lost to Rublev. Rublev was coming from winning versus Roger Federer recently.
Cincinnati, right?
Yeah,
right.
And it was a nice match between two other very young players.
And it came down to a critical 3rd set tiebreak. They were 1 set all, and they each had set points on their own serves.
Yeah.
Before finally Rublev won at 9 points to 7, and then in the 4th set there was some cramping.
Yeah.
From Tsitsipas, and so that was too bad. But it was a very high quality match, especially for 3 sets.
Yeah, and then before we spoke about the derby, the Canadian derby, but we didn't say anything that there was another Canadian, Pospisil, who played Khachanov and beat Khachanov, number 9 seed.
Yeah, that was a good win, because he gave Rafa a very tough 4-set match here a year ago, and they could have possibly met again this year. And now, it's a setback for Khachanov, who of course won the big indoors event at Paris-Bercy last year. And
even if that indoor is a special one, because before the ATP finals, you never know who is really trying hard.
And
who
also
goes.
Djokovic had that long 3-setter with Federer, tiebreak in the 3rd. He may have exhausted himself a bit, 3 hours the day before, and he didn't play his best against Khachanov. But still, I thought we saw glimpses of Khachanov's future that day, of a great future. He hasn't had the best of years so far, and this is another setback.
Yeah. Then another seed who lost was Bautista Agut, who lost to the Kazakh Kukushkin.
Very surprising.
Yeah.
Semi-finalist at Wimbledon, great year all around. He must be very, very down on himself to have lost that match.
Yes, and then another semi-finalist in a Slam, Edmund, even if it was last year.
Yes, right.
Lost to Andujar, number 70 in the world, a Spanish guy who is renowned as a clay court specialist.
Very true. Yeah, I wouldn't have seen that one coming. Edmund is a very good hard court player. The one semifinal you mentioned was in Australia last year on hard courts, so he knows what he's doing on this surface. Very disappointing showing from him.
So, Steve, what are you suggesting us to watch tomorrow?
I think it's kind of a big day for the stars, Ubaldo. We've got in the evening, we have a Federer in the day, we have Djokovic in the evening, Venus Williams in the day. There's a lot going on. I think we have Serena at night as well. I'm not sure, but I know that it's many top players in action tomorrow, and it should be a very good program for day 3.
Yes, we just one quick thing about Cori Gauff, because
yes,
she won three sets, a match that was not easy. She had lost the first set to Potapova, 3-6, 6-2, 6-4, 2 hours and 1 minute. This girl, there were two funny things today. When we were in the press room, the number 1 American tennis player, John Isner, nobody had requested him as in the interview, so he didn't come for a press conference. Number 1 American.
Right.
Very strange. While the 15 years old girl, Cori Gauff, it was announced in the press room, if you want to go and watch her match, take the ticket.
Yeah,
take a special ticket
never happens
because if not in Armstrong Stadium you cannot find a place.
Isn't that astounding? I don't think we've ever had anything quite like that, but she's made such a sensation, Ubaldo, as you know, at Wimbledon with her debut there, beating Venus Williams, round of 16, loses to Simona Halep, and this was a nice comeback win for her. Now the pressure's off that she got through at least one round.
Yeah.
But it was a very good win for her and a nice U.S. Open debut.
Sure. Well, it's not a debut, this one, for Steve Flink. He has been here for a while, but he will be here also tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to it.